Hello athletes, today I'm going to do a quick review on the SIS Sport gels, give you my impressions after training and racing with them for a while, and so you can decide if they work for you. I'm also going to open one of the packages and put the content so you can see the consistency, since these products are very different from the traditional gels that you can find out there. The main thing is that they're definitely not a gel consistency wise, since they are more like liquid and much more like looser than any other gel that I found out there. So starting with that, the product itself is literally like intense, so you can consume it without having to wash it down with fluid after that. And that's most of the gels out there that you had to do. You consume it and then you had to either have a sport drink or water to kind of like push it down and wash it down in order to get it down. With this one is, and you'll see when I open the product, it's really liquid and you really don't need any fluid after that. They have a lot of flavors. They have a lot of options regarding like what kind of product you want. They have other ones that they call it plus electrolytes. They have the caffeinated version. They have a lot of flavors, like I was mentioning before. Here I have the Tutti Frutti and the orange. The Tutti Frutti is pretty good, strong flavor, very citrusy. The orange one is kind of like bland, doesn't taste really strong, it's very smooth. I actually like it because it's not that strong either way. Some other friends that I tried, they say that it was disgusting. So it's up to everybody, what you like. Depending what kind of product you get or even flavor, they do have different amounts of calories on them. The carb seems to be very consistent, 22 grams, and with that said, even that number is not that big. The calories, depending on which flavor, they have even less than 90 calories per package. So that's something that it could be improved. Definitely you consume gels in order to get energy from them more than anything else. They don't have a lot of electrolytes. Even the one that it says plus electrolyte version is not that big. It has more sodium, but not that much, and not many other electrolytes in there. But I think we all agree that we don't really consume the gels for the electrolytes. It's most for the energy that they can provide. So with that said, something that I noticed is for being liquid, they are like really quick, really easy. They're really easy on the stomach, and they're not that heavy. So that's pretty much all a plus, and you don't need extra fluid to wash it down. So for that sense, the product, it works. It's like actually very easy to consume. The only thing that I noticed is that as quick as they are, like basically when you consume them, and because they're in a liquid version, I think the body and the stomach is quicker to digest. You get those carbs, that energy much quicker. Also, that kind of goes away in a quicker way, if you want to say it that way. And I noticed, and I found myself using, when I test usually gels, I use the 30-minute rule. I try to consume them every 30 minutes, either on the bike or on running, to see how I feel by the time I get the 30 minutes. And honestly, on these ones, I had to consume. I started testing them with them, and I started consuming a second one, maybe 5 minutes or even 10 minutes ahead of that 30-minute mark. So with that said, if you're like consuming like 2 gels per hour with this one, you will be consuming around like 3 or 4, depending how you react with them. So that created a little other problem that I found, and it was the size. As you can see, these gels are like really big. I mean, actually they're huge. They are like thicker as well because of all that water in there. And even when I use a fuel belt for like anything that it was more than 2 hours, if you're consuming depending 3 or 4 and you want to carry an extra one or anything like that, you're going to need a very big fuel belt. If you're running a marathon and you're carrying, I don't know, like 6-8 of those good gels in your fuel belt, you may need like, I don't know, if you're consuming 3 or 4 of these ones, you may need 12, 16 gels. That's going to be a big fuel belt in order to carry all that. If not, after that, you're talking about a backpack, because these guys are really big. If in my hand look how big it is. If you carry many of them, they are like definitely bulky. That's for sure is something that is a draw on this kind of product, and hopefully one day they can like somehow concentrate it a little bit more, or find some way either to cut it in half, because that's kind of like the big problem that I found with them. You just can't carry that many. Even they don't kind of like fold very well themselves, because the liquid is in there, like it's so much, and it's not really like pure fluid. It's more like a syrup. So it's not quite gel, but it's not quite water either. So even if you're trying to fold it to put in your bento box in the bike or something like that, it doesn't quite do that, and they're still taking a lot of space. The products, like I was saying, you don't need water to drink, with exception, I found out it was the 75 milligram version, which is the caffeinated one. Why? Most of the caffeinated products give some sort of bitter taste to the product, and I don't know if this one is because it's more like a liquid version. It didn't work out very well, but other gels find better ways to mask that taste, especially when you're on the higher level of milligrams of caffeine, around 75 or even 100 milligrams caffeine. You can really taste that. So I found that taste, it really stays on your tongue, which it makes you drink fluid to wash it down and kind of like to clear that tongue from that taste. So with that said, it kind of misses the purpose of the gel, of like drinking this gel without having to consume water to wash it down. Obviously that is up to each person. Maybe some may like drink it and don't have that issue, but I found that taste, it does stay in your tongue, and you may have to drink water. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to open one of these products and pour it in a container, so you can see how like liquid the consistency is, and then you can decide if it's something that you like to try. Okay, let's go for that. Okay, I'm going to do a quick show here. Like, I'm going to open a SIS, Science of Sport gel, and pour the content in the little bowl over here, so you can see the concentration of the product and the consistency. So let's open this very quickly. So as you can see, I just put it down and it literally falls. It's like, it's not warm or anything. It's a room temperature, like all the gels that I have, but that's how SIS is. It's like it's pretty much water. It's liquid. It's not, as you can see, it would be very easy to digest, very easy to just pretty much drink it. You open the package, you drop it in there, and that's it. As you're able to see, the product is very, very liquid. So with that said, you had to be very careful when you tear the package. If you tear it too much, or if you actually like trying to consume a little bit and then just keep either running and then consume the other part, it may spill out because it's so loose, especially if it warms up while you're working out. Maybe if it's in your hand or it's a hot day, it will go even more like liquided than room temperature than what it is right now, and it could be a little messy, and it's really, really sticky. Actually, all gels are really sticky. Last point, the package itself is very smooth. If you have the type of biting and squishing with your teeth, it's super smooth for that. The tearing end is kind of small, so if you're tearing it with your mouth or hand, be careful not to litter, especially if you're in a race, in an Ironman or any kind of race. You can't do that because it's easy to lose it. It's kind of like a small. Anyway, the product works. It's very easy on the stomach. It really is, you can really like consume it without drinking water. So I think that's the plus. The downside is like you need more of them. The size kind of like makes it like sometimes very hard. Anyway, drop your comments, any questions you have. Thank you for watching. Bye.